What is going on, guys? My name is Ben. How are you guys doing today? What I have for you today in this video is there was an interesting article that I read about. This has something to do with Google. So if you guys aren't familiar, we have cellular carriers, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, and then you got some of the other ones, Virgin Mobile, TracFone, Straight Talk, whatever. But I'm going to talk about the four top carriers of people's choice: AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile. Well, actually, Google is going to be in addition to this category as well. Now, how good is their service is going to be? Obviously, for a start, it's not going to be that great, obviously, but that's because they're just starting to begin this. Therefore, it's definitely going to improve. They're referring to this as Google's Project FI, or FI, however you guys want to pronounce it. And I just discovered this after reading this article. I don't know if they announced this, way back before this article even posted. But we'll see what happens. And the link to this article will be in the description below. So apparently, like I said before, Google is going to start their own carrier service with fair prices from their perspective for people who hardly use data on their mobile devices and want to save some money at the same time. Alright, and this article basically specified that there were 5 things that we must be aware of for Google's Project FI service. Alright, and if you excuse me looking down, that's because I have some notes right here. And basically, Google doesn't have their own networks to run this kind of project. In fact, they're using a combination of T-Mobile and Sprint. And however, you're not going to get a T-Mobile SIM card or a Sprint SIM card because since Google's project is using both carriers, you're only going to have one SIM card, and that's going to be Google's SIM card. And as far as how you're going to get it, you could probably get it directly from Google or possibly the T-Mobile or Sprint store. I don't know how it works. And so far, there is only one phone that will work with this service. When it does come out, I don't know when. I think this is just a rumor going around. But I guess Google is in the development of getting this project going. And the only phone that works right now is the Nexus 6. So for those of you Nexus 6 owners, I can't pronounce that today, I don't know why. You're in luck if you want to try out this service. Alright? And international data is actually included. However, it is going to be 3G once you land into a different country with up to 256 kilobits per second of data. So I guess you do have international data ready, and it's included in the plan. So it's not like with some of the carriers right now, you actually have to apply for the international data plan. And as far as talk time's concerned, it's supposed to be 20 cents per minute. I don't know how it is compared to the other carriers right there. I don't deal with international calling, all that. I've never applied for it before. That's because I don't have my own cell phone plan and don't have my own cell phone that's activated on a network. Where was I going with that? I don't know. Anyway, so for international users, it's definitely going to be cheaper for you guys out there. And another thing is that you won't pay for data that you're not using. And they gave like a few examples right here. Let's say if you had 3 gigabytes of data and you only use like 2 gigabytes per se. And the extra gigabyte is going to actually be used as credit for the next bill on the next month. Alright, so basically you're getting credit for the next month you have to pay for the bill, if that makes any sense. So that's actually pretty cool, because the carriers right now, whether you use your data or not, and you have a smartphone with a data plan, you're still paying the exact amount. And from my understanding, I've never heard anything about those carriers actually giving their customers any credit. And it looks like Google will be the first one once they put this out there. And as far as your own phone number is concerned, because when you're changing carriers, you could keep your phone number, but you have to pay an additional fee. Well, Google, you have to do the same thing, but that's only if you're on a 2-year contract. If you're not locked into a contract, then your number can be transferred seamlessly. Alright? And the best part about Google's Project Fi, for some people who are looking to save money, you're not locked onto an annual contract. It's not like with Verizon, AT&T, and I think Sprint. I don't think T-Mobile sells any contracts. But with the other carriers, normally you would have to sign a 2-year contract, and if you don't sign a 2-year contract, you have to pay full price for the phone, versus signing a 2-year contract and paying a lower price, and you wait for 2 years until you are able to upgrade your phone. So the way I see it, if you're gonna get a phone without a 2-year contract, that means what you're doing is you're basically sticking to that phone as long as you need to until it doesn't meet your requirements, it starts slowing down on you, or if something happened to the phone after 2 years, then that gives you the chance to go out and buy a new phone instead of having to upgrade every 2 years. Well, even if your 2-year contract is up, you don't have to upgrade. Some people choose not to, depending on their needs, or if they feel the phone is just fine and they don't need to pay more money to spend on a new phone, then it's up to you. And the best part is that you get to have a lower price when it comes to buying phones. So as far as Google's projects is concerned, I think it's actually a pretty neat idea, and I feel like their main competitor for this would be T-Mobile, because T-Mobile, their plans are fairly cheap, but I'm just concerned about one thing, because AT&T and Verizon, what I believe are the top 2 carriers out there in the United States of America. Why? Because they have good service, and more than likely wherever you're at, you're gonna get service, and it's just going to depend on, okay, how much service you get. Do you get 5 bars with AT&T and 4 bars with Verizon at the same area, or vice versa? Whereas compared to T-Mobile and Sprint, I heard those carriers suck at service. I mean, there's this one person I know where he doesn't even have service at where he lives, but he's still able to make phone calls, and he has T-Mobile. Why? T-Mobile has this thing called Wi-Fi calling. Google's Project Fi will have Wi-Fi calling. And the best part about Wi-Fi calling, it doesn't use up your minutes, and you can still make phone calls as if you were actually using your actual minutes, even though you're not, because you're doing it through Wi-Fi with your own phone number that you were assigned. So that's my thoughts about this project right here. I'm going to look into it more, but what do you guys think about this? Do you think this was a pretty neat idea? And as far as these things that I just mentioned after reading the article, do you see these as benefits, or do you see these as copycats? Because I don't know if the other carriers actually had this features as well, or had these solutions as well, and maybe they're just done a little bit differently. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Please subscribe, rate, comment, and check the description below for my social media links, Twitter and Instagram. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.